Adirondack chairs have been a popular woodworking build for years and years. And recently I've been running across versions of modern Adirondack chairs that are pretty neat. But there was a big problem with the chairs that I found. Check this out. Yep, you are seeing that right. They are wanting $1,700 for those things. When I first saw that, I'm like, is this like some super rare extinct wood? No, they're just first to the market with a new idea. So for today's video, I decided to make one of my own with my twist. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to make my design for the modern Adirondack chair. This thing is sleek and heavy duty. And the best part, you can build these with common building material and common tools. So are you ready to learn how to build this thing? Well, let's dive into it. So for the material for this build, I'm going to be using common 2x10s or 9 1/4 nominal. But if you'd like for your parts to be a little wider, you can use 2x12s. I'll leave that up to you. So as you can see here behind me, I have a prototype or a mock-up of what we're trying to do here. And things like this is what I do to figure builds out. So I'll actually make a prototype to help me figure out all of the different angles and things like that. But now that I have all of that worked out, the first parts that we're going to be building and cutting will be these legs. And as you can tell from this prototype, there's a lot of different angles that go into these legs. You have different angles going in, the legs themselves are cut at different angles, and different angles on the tops and the bottoms. But the great thing about this build is that you can cut all of those with the tools that you have. And as always, I'll be teaching you step by step on how to build this project. But if you're a plans in the hand type of person, I've got you covered. I built my entire plan library around something that I call Lego plans. That means exploded views, x-ray views, and clear diagrams for every single step. With over 11,000 5-star reviews, these plans have helped thousands of people of every skill level build successfully. So if you're interested in the easiest plans on the internet to build from, head over to my website. I'll make sure to throw a link in the description. So to start off cutting the parts for these legs, I'll need 3 boards that are 31.5 inches long. Then I'll take these 3 boards over to the table saw and rip 1/8 of an inch off of each side. This will leave us with a nice square-edged 9-inch board. Then once I have the edges ripped off of all 3 boards, I'm going to rip one of these boards right down the middle at 4.5 inches. You'll see why I'm doing this here in a minute. Okay, so now that we have our material cut, we need to put this together into 2 panels. 1 panel for each one of the legs. So basically the reason why we're doing this is to make a super wide board. And that super wide board is part of the key to this entire look. So to make our wide board, we need to put 4 pocket holes down the edge of each one of our 4.5 inch boards. Now keep in mind from this point on, any side of the legs that you can see the pocket hole screws, those will be the insides. And now with my pocket hole screws to the inside, I'm going to go ahead and label the parts of my boards. Trust me, this will help you out in the long run. So the sides with the pocket hole screws will be the inside. So I'm just going to mark this with an I. Then I'll mark my front and backs. And then the top and the bottom. The bottom is going to be the side closest to your pocket hole screws. Now that we have everything marked, let's cut some angles. So I'm going to start this out at the table saw. And this will be the only angle that I'm going to be cutting here because we can do the rest of these using a circular saw or a miter saw. So to make this first cut, let's go ahead and angle our table saw blade to 11.5 degrees. Now set your table saw so that you're only removing the outer edge of this board. And then when we run it through, the pocket holes need to be facing down and the 4.5 inch board needs to be closest to the blade. So for this next step, we're going to be using a circular saw to cut the angles for these legs. And a cool thing about the circular saw that a lot of people do not use is the fact that it can also bevel. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and mark our cut lines on our legs. Each one of these legs will essentially be a mirror of the other. So to make sure that we're cutting each one correctly, let's go ahead and mark our right and left legs. Now this would be as if you're sitting in the chair. For our right leg, we'll measure up 6 inches from the bottom on the right hand side. And then for our left leg, we'll measure up 6 inches from the bottom on the left hand side. And then once we have those 2 marks, we'll simply connect those marks to the opposite corner. And now with our cut lines established, let's go ahead and get our circular saw set up. Now you've probably seen me do this before, but I'll be cutting on top of a scrap piece of foam. This helps to stabilize the material, and I don't have to worry about my blade going through. Now you can either use a track saw for this, or you can set up a guide. I'll be using a scrap piece of plywood for this. Since the distance from the outside of my plate to my blade is 1 1/8 of an inch, I'll set my guide at the same distance away from the cut line, so 1 1/8 of an inch. And if you set yours up like this, you can simply screw the guide down into the top of the board. This is going to be a piece of scrap anyway. Now that we have our guide set up, let's set up our saw. And since we cut the opposite side at 11.5 degrees on our table saw, let's set our circular saw at 11.5 degrees. Now with our saw set up, let's go ahead and make our cut. And we'll just repeat this for our second leg. Alright, so check it out. This is where we're at right now. When they're on their edge and kind of angled out the way that we want them, we're starting to get this super cool kind of butterfly look. I don't know why I call it a butterfly look, but we'll call it that, butterfly look. Check it out. But if we have it at this angle and we need a support board in the back, the outside tips of these legs are going to be at an angle and the board won't sit flush against it. So to make this next cut, you can use the circular saw just like we did for the last, or you can use a compound miter saw. So we'll start off by cutting the end of our left leg. And to do this, I'll angle my miter saw 20 degrees to the left, and then I'll set my bevel for 11.5 degrees to the right. And then with my leg on the left side of my saw and the screw holes facing up, I'll make my cut on the end. And just an FYI for your screw placement whenever you're cutting your pocket holes, make sure that your end pocket holes are at least 4 inches away from the end. As you can see, I didn't do that and had to remove this screw. And then to cut the end of our right leg, we'll adjust our bevel to 11.5 degrees to the left. And when we make our cut, our screws are going to be facing down. Alright, so no more angles or bevels to add to these legs. They are done. And our persistence has paid off. These things look pretty cool. Now to tie these two legs together, we'll use the back support. For our back support, we'll need a board that is 24 inches long. On one side of the board, I'll use the miter saw to put a 20-degree angle on the end. And to get this 20-degree cut, you can cut your board on the edge with the miter saw angled to 20 degrees, or you can cut it flat with the miter saw beveled to 20 degrees. That's completely up to you. Since most saws aren't tall enough to make this cut on edge, I'll just bevel my saw to the right, make my first end cut, and then for the other end of the board, I'll need a 45-degree angle. And you can do this using your miter saw or a circular saw. Then to get rid of these rounded edges, I'm going to remove 1/8 of an inch off of each side just like we did for our leg material. Alright, so now that we have our legs and our backboard cut, let's go ahead and put these things together. For assembly, we want all of these parts to sit at the angles that we've cut. So I'll align the bottom of my leg with the bottom of my back support and put in a screw. Then I'll add another where it naturally falls with the angle. And to make these look even cleaner, go ahead and pre-drill and counterbore for each screw. That way you can go back later and add dowels if you'd like. And for mine, I'm definitely going to need dowels. If you notice on the right hand bottom that I raised my hole up to avoid this knot, well, sometimes you have to do things like that. But the good thing is if you kept this off with a dowel later, you'll never notice. I just knew that if I tried to put a screw in that knot, it would definitely bust. Okay, so now that we've assembled those three parts, you can kind of see how this thing is looking. And it's pretty neat with all of these different angles. Let's go ahead and cut the material that we're going to need for this backrest, get that put on. For our backrest, we'll be needing two boards that are 30 inches long. Once we have those cut, put an 11.5 degree angle on each end. These two angles will be facing the same direction. And just like the rest of our material, I'm going to go ahead and take about 1/8 of an inch off of each edge, leaving me with a nice square 9-inch board. And to turn this backboard into one large board, we'll go ahead and throw some pocket holes in the back of one of these boards and join the two together. So before we attach this backboard, let's go ahead and finish out cutting our parts. We need 2 more boards for this seat. For our seat boards, we'll need 2 boards that are 24 inches long. Don't worry about putting any angles on this just yet. Once we get those cut to length and ripped to width, let's go ahead and join these 2 boards together with a few pocket holes. And now that my 2 seat boards are joined together, I'm going to put an 11.5 degree on both long sides. And I'll be running my material face up for both of these cuts. Alright, so these boards aren't attached yet, but just to kind of see what we're working with, this is where we're at right now. It looks very similar to their $1,700 or whatever version. Now this is what I would consider the chunky look. Now this looks fine, but I think that we can make this look even better by putting our twist to it. Since every other part of this build has angles to it, and since I kind of want this to look like a modern Adirondack chair, Let's add some angles to the backboard and the seat. So the first thing that I'll do is to measure in 4 inches on each side on the bottom of our backrest. And then I'll use a straight edge to connect those marks to the upper corners. Then I'll just set my guide up and make these cuts with a circular saw just like we did for the legs. And then for our seat, I'm going to measure over 6 3/4 of an inch on the back of the seat on both sides. And then just like we did for the backboard, I'll use a straight edge to connect those marks to the outside corners. And then make these cuts with a circular saw. So now with our backrest and our seat cut, let's go ahead and get these attached. We'll start off by attaching our backrest to the top of our back support. To make sure that our screws hit the back support, I'm going to measure up 14 inches. And then I'll measure in 3.5 inches on each side. And then we'll also put one in the very center. Now let's pre-drill and counterbore each one of our marks. Then I'll use a 2.5 inch screw to lock this backboard into place. Now let's get our seat installed. We'll get it squared up with our backboard. And then on each side from the top down, we'll make a mark at 2.5 and 4.25. Then we'll move down to 8.5 and 3 inch. And then 16 inches and 1 inch. We'll mark those for both of our legs, then pre-drill, counterbore, and install our screws. Alright, so check this thing out. I think that this thing is pretty awesome. So now I just need to go back and put some plugs in some of these holes. But other than that, besides staining, painting, it's done. And just like that, we have built a modern Adirondack chair using common building materials. If you'd like this build and you want to try it out yourself, you know exactly what to do next. Get up, get out, and get your make on. Till next time, we'll see you. Imagine taking a pile of wood and turning it into something amazing. Now, imagine doing that without years of frustration. You do not need a fancy workshop, expensive tools, or years of experience. With Woodworking Kickstart, you'll build confidence and real skills in no time. So you can spend years making mistakes and learning the hard way like I did, or you can start building with confidence today. So join me in Woodworking Kickstart and let's get your journey started.